Alright, so we are at the end of the first weekend of the new Last Epoch season, and overall, got pretty positive impressions here. I don't really have anything bad to say. It has the usual problems, which I'll talk about a little, I guess. And then I'll start with the cons, the pros. Start with pros. Number one, and the biggest one, we got corruptions. So they added corruptions, and it's like, you're probably thinking, wow, that's pretty basic. PoE's had it for like 20 years, it's not really groundbreaking. And you're right, it's not. But I think in terms of this game, I think it is groundbreaking. It honestly, it adds another great layer that was much needed to your gearing process. So there's been a big problem plaguing Last Epoch for me in previous seasons, and it's basically that your gear, you hit a wall really early in terms of, like, really early. I mean, like, in terms of a no-lifer, it's really early. Like, if you play 5 minutes a day, it's not really early, but you hit this wall at either 2 LP or 3 LP on your gear, and it's basically impossible to ever upgrade past that point, and it's pretty easy to get to that point. So you've kind of maxed out your gear relatively quickly compared to other ARPGs, leaving you essentially searching for like an insanely rare drop if you want the 4 LP, like the equivalent to a mirror dropping or whatever. Probably not quite that drastic, but way more rare than an incremental upgrade should be. Now, I don't necessarily want 4 LP to be super common, but I don't even think it should be like common at all. But the way the system works is just like, you get all your uniques, you get 2 LP, 3 LP is a pretty hard jump for most uniques. Some is attainable, and then 4 LP is like just not gonna happen, right? So I don't know, like, I don't think the solution is making 4 LP more common. It needs to be some kind of gateway. But that's where corruption comes in here, and is a little bit of a solution to that. I don't think it's a complete solution, but it definitely helps a lot. So now there's essentially like 5 LP. I guess the solution's adding more LP, I don't know. Because corruption is essentially like adding another LP, but in a different way. So now you can realistically get 2 or 3 LP on all your gear, plus a good corruption. So you can see here, all my gear is corrupted because they did it the right way. Similar to like PoE 2, unsimilar to PoE 1. You are most likely going to get a positive outcome. It's like 75% chance. I'm not going to do the exact math on the weights here, but so you can add some affixes, and there's some pretty OP affixes you can get. I think I've seen like stun immunity and stuff like that. And you just like slam everything. For example, like, let's see. Boom, just got cold res. Here we go, let's slam it. Boom. That one was not good. This was a negative outcome. It minimum rolls everything, but you can also get a positive roll on everything, and it'll max roll everything, which is kind of cool. But overall, you should be slamming your gear. You're way more likely to get something good than something bad. Here we can see it just changed the item type to a new base type, which is pretty cool. Gives 21% less damage taken and increased DOT, but reduces armor. And you can also see at the bottom here, int converted to madness, so it's like a new attribute essentially, and it gives certain bonuses. This one gives crit stuff. Very cool. Honestly, I think it's a great implementation of corruption. If you liked the game before, and you're gonna like it more now. I think that's the TLDR of the patch. If you didn't like it before, you're still not gonna like it. If you like it, then you're gonna like it more. It's a step in the right direction. It's not any like massive sweeping changes, despite how massive I think corruption is for the more being able to play the game for longer without like hitting the wall. But overall as a system, it's not like gameplay groundbreaking, So there's that corruption. Big win there. I think that pushes the game up to like a solid C+ for me from a C-, almost in the B tiers. Operation print function. Hey guys, welcome to the job build guide. Today we got boot.dev, the best way to learn to code. The DPS numbers here are really good, over 100,000 per year. You'll learn to code by building real projects, no more stalling. A good farming spot for this build is in the training grounds, a map with infinite challenge grinds to give you as much XP as you need. If you get stuck on a certain build mechanic, there are solutions for every challenge on the website. Once you've grinded enough and have a good handle on the build, you'll probably have the option to work remotely from the comfort of your own home. One of the best perks of this build, go to boot.dev and use code TSLU to get 25% off the annual plan. Now, more pros, we got extra target farm rewards from echoes for bonus abilities. So basically, stability. You go into a map and then you have the stability bar right here. You can get extra rewards now. I'm pretty sure that's new this season. I don't remember it if it's not. So it gives you more of a reason to full clear the map and not just bum rush to the next map, especially early on. Eventually you get enough corruption and starts dropping good stuff, and if you get a good map with rares, you clear it good. But pretty nice, pretty nice. Then we got Omens, the new mechanic. It's essentially Breach. Kill a bunch of monsters in a circle, then you kill the boss. It's alright, it's just Breach. It does add a nice difficulty component. They can get pretty difficult pretty fast, especially if you do like the Omen chain. That is also a new feature, which is good. These chains. So you chain together the mechanic and it will be in all of these maps. And then for the Omen one, it'll end with a boss Omen that is like really juiced. It is actually really hard. I've failed this one like multiple times. Granted, my build is really squishy. Don't recommend fire or a spellblade. I mean, it's okay, it's fine. But I kind of wish I just played Judgment Pally because it's OP. And I did die, so yeah, I died. But I was trying to get to the boss, but the build's just too squishy. And melee is, not really good in this game. So, very cool. So you go in here, and it's like a really juiced Breach or Omen. And then you kill the boss, and then it gives you like this window. And in the window, you can add more echoes here. So you can actually add another Omen echo chain, or you can do one of the other mechanics. I think you can add stability for going to a boss. You can just smash it for the league mechanic currency. And then that's a certain amount of splinters you can do the boss, and I didn't get to the boss because I decided to play a not great character this season. But I watched someone else do it. It looked okay. It basically seemed like an Uber Shade fight, if you know the Shade, when you get to the end here to reset and get more corruption. It was mostly reused assets. The fight didn't look bad, but it was just all reused assets. Just looked like another Shade fight, but there's 2 bosses instead of 1. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot different than that in actual gameplay, but... So, there's a new thing called Idol Altars. Gives a bunch of effects here for your socketed idols. And if you can see here, cool little animation, it will change the shape of the blocked slots, and then it will highlight these spots and give bonuses on these spots. And they also have a few other cool mods that will stack up, and they all have a different pattern for the lit up spots. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, loot filter customization, they got pretty good updates this league. You can do pretty much anything you want now. Filter for specific legendaries, map icons that's been in. They've added new sounds. Can make the beams different color, bigger, whatever. Don't know exactly which they added this season, but it's got pretty much everything you'd want now besides custom sounds. And then just general game feel. All the mechanics feel pretty useful. They all have a spot in the game. Nemesis is good for your non-LPs. It's good for getting exalted, double exalted items. Rift Beast gives a lot of runes and glyphs. The Omens drop the corruption stuff. The overall just solid. The Weaver Echo thingies, the cemeteries, you know, obviously you gotta use those to get the special maps. Pretty cool. Now for the cons, I don't really have a lot to say here. It's the same as it always is. This patch didn't really introduce any new cons. Performance, still bad. After about 3 hours, I'll have to restart the game unless I want to be playing at a constant like 30 FPS in combat. Yeah. And then overall, just like everything, still not a great development pace to be competitive in the ARPG scene with others. Overall, you know, still slow development pace, and then like the new boss is just all reused assets. Got corruption, which while it is super good addition, like it is actually massive, the improvement in gameplay, or not gameplay, but like upgrading your gear, the feel. It's a relatively simple thing. And then the new mechanics basically just like a circle of monsters hitting you, so overall, like, not sweeping changes here. The balance is pretty much the same. There's a few new things, but, you know, it's not a great pace. Yeah, I mean, all the problems that were there before are still here, basically, except the gear grind is better now, for sure, with the corruptions. Other than that, like, the game's still pretty buggy. Less buggy than, like, years ago, obviously. Like, it is getting somewhere, just slowly. But, like, even the character I'm playing right now has some bug where sometimes, my character, essentially, I attack and it triggers spells, right? Sometimes it just won't trigger for the entire map, unless I figured out if I self-cast Ice Barrage, it will. So that is one of the skills that I'm triggering. I don't know what exactly causes it. Like maps, it will happen randomly. If I go to a boss like Temporal Sanctum, it will happen every time. I have to self-cast it, which isn't a big deal, but until I figured out that what it was kind of a big deal. I'm sure a lot of other builds have problems like that. Just, you know, overall, this isn't great. Hopefully the craft and money can fix that. And yeah, that's about it. Like, there's not really anything more negative. Like, it's just the same stuff that was negative before. It's still negative. So, yeah, that's about it. Go to boot.dev and use code TSOLU to get 25% off the annual plan.